Control tower, this is Flight 19. Declaring a full emergency. The compass has failed, navigation systems are giving conflicting data. There's something out here, we don't know what it is. It's pulling us, like an invisible force dragging us off course. We've lost control of the aircraft. It feels like we're being taken somewhere, against our will. Nothing is showing on radar, but we feel it, something is out there. Requesting immediate assistance, repeat, we are being pulled toward an unknown location. Do you read us? Please respond, we don't know where we're going. Hello, this was the last message received by the American Control Tower from Flight 19 in 1945. After that, contact was lost and it disappeared. First, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button so you can receive everything new. Somewhere in the vast Atlantic Ocean, between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, lies a region of mystery and fear. A place where ships vanish without a trace. Where planes disappear mid-flight. And where compasses spin aimlessly. They call it the Bermuda Triangle. But is it a myth, a legend told by sailors to scare each other? Or is there truly something out there, something we can't explain? Our story begins in 1945. 5 U.S. Navy bombers, Flight 19, take off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. On what should have been a routine training mission. The weather is clear. Their fuel tanks are full. And yet, just over an hour into the flight, everything goes wrong. The squadron leader radios in, his voice tense. We can't tell where we are, everything looks strange, the compasses are not working. Controllers on the ground try to help, but the signals keep fading. The planes begin to circle aimlessly over the Atlantic. Fuel starts to run dangerously low. The last transmission comes through. We may have to ditch, when you see land, head north. Then, silence. 5 planes and 14 men vanish. A rescue aircraft is immediately dispatched with 13 more crew members on board. It disappears too, without even sending a distress call. 141 people, gone. No wreckage, no oil slick, no survivors. Only a storm of unanswered questions. It wasn't just planes. Decades earlier, in 1918, the U.S. Navy's massive cargo ship USS Cyclops vanished. She carried over 300 sailors and 10,000 tons of manganese ore. Her last message was calm. Weather fair, all well. Then, nothing. When she failed to arrive, the Navy scoured the seas. No distress signal, no debris, no clue. It remains the single largest non-combat loss in U.S. Navy history. Years later, in 1925, another vessel, SS Cotopaxi, set sail from Charleston, South Carolina, bound for Cuba. She too vanished within the triangle. For nearly a century, her fate was unknown, until 2020. When Cuban marine researchers found her wreck off the coast of Cuba. The investigation revealed she had likely taken on water and sunk. A rational explanation, perhaps. But for every wreck we find, there are many still lost without a trace. For some, that's too eerie to ignore. Throughout the decades, pilots and sailors have told chilling stories of what they saw inside the triangle. One of the most famous is that of Bruce Jernan, a pilot who in 1970 experienced what he called a time storm. While flying from the Bahamas to Florida, he encountered a massive, swirling cloud shaped like a tunnel. Inside, his instruments malfunctioned, and radio contact was lost for nearly 10 minutes. When he emerged from the other side, he was already near Miami. He'd somehow crossed more than 100 miles in an impossible time. Bruce later wrote about his encounter in his book The Fog, Inside the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists later suggested it could have been an intense electromagnetic storm that disrupted his instruments. But Jernan remains convinced he passed through some kind of space-time distortion. By the mid-20th century, the Bermuda Triangle had become a global obsession. Books, documentaries, and theories flooded the media. So the U.S. government finally stepped in to investigate. Reports from the U.S. Coast Guard and NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, concluded that the number of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle was not statistically higher than in any other heavily traveled ocean region. In most cases, human error, storms, and equipment failure were to blame. But some cases were harder to explain. Like the disappearance of the British passenger plane Star Tiger in 1948. And another, Star Ariel, the following year. Both vanished mid-flight without distress calls, and no wreckage was ever found. Even with all the data, the triangle seemed determined to keep some of its secrets buried. If logic can't explain it all, maybe something else can. Over the years, dozens of theories have tried to make sense of the Bermuda Triangle. Some scientific, others, not so much. 1. The alien hypothesis. Some believe the triangle is home to an underwater base for extraterrestrials. A portal where ships and planes are taken for study. This idea gained traction after sonar scans revealed massive pyramid-like structures beneath the ocean floor, though these are more likely natural formations. 2. Time warps and dimensional portals. Others claim the area is a rift in the fabric of space and time. A doorway to another dimension or era. It's the kind of idea that inspires science fiction movies, but also raises fascinating questions about physics and the unknown. 3. The lost city of Atlantis. One of the oldest legends says the triangle covers the ruins of Atlantis, an ancient civilization whose energy crystals still pulse beneath the sea, disrupting navigation systems and drawing in anything above them. But science doesn't thrive on legends, it thrives on evidence. And over the last few decades, researchers have uncovered real, tangible explanations for the triangle's deadly reputation. 1. Methane gas eruptions. Deep under the Atlantic seabed lie massive pockets of frozen methane hydrate. When these bubbles burst, they reduce the water's density, causing ships above to lose buoyancy and sink rapidly. The released gas can also rise into the air, potentially stalling aircraft engines. 2. The Gulf Stream. The Bermuda Triangle sits atop one of the most powerful ocean currents on Earth, the Gulf Stream. It can shift without warning, creating rogue waves, whirlpools, and violent storms that can swallow vessels in minutes. 3. Magnetic anomalies. The triangle is one of the few places where compasses sometimes point toward true north instead of magnetic north. If pilots or navigators don't correct for this difference, they can drift hundreds of miles off course, often with fatal results. 4. Human error. Studies show that most disappearances likely stem from poor navigation, mechanical failure, or simply overconfidence in unpredictable seas. In the case of Flight 19, for example, investigators found that the squadron leader probably misidentified the islands below, and led his planes far out to sea until they ran out of fuel. After decades of investigation, perhaps the Bermuda Triangle isn't cursed, or haunted, but simply misunderstood. It's a reminder of how vast, unpredictable, and powerful the ocean truly is. And how, even in an age of satellites and GPS, there are still places on Earth that defy our certainty. Maybe the triangle's greatest mystery is our own fascination with the unknown. Because in every legend lies a truth. And in every truth, a spark of wonder.